Hi there, welcome to my channel. For today's video, I want to show you how to crochet the Ninna sweater. This sweater is perfect for when you want a quick and easy project and when you want to layer your outfit and you want a different color top underneath. So if you think you'll want one, make sure to keep watching and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so to start this beautiful and easy sweater, I am using two types of yarn. I am using one that is super fine from Lion Brand. I think the color is called Wildflowers. And I'm using another one in Sport Weight from the line Brava on Wheat Crochet, and this is the color Lady Slipper. And I'm using my 5.0mm hook. Always have your scissors nearby and stitch markers. So you're gonna put your two yarns together and do a slip knot. Okay, and insert your hook. Pull it tight. So for this sweater, we're gonna start with a panel for the front or the back, and it's gonna be a multiple of 2 plus 3. So for myself, I measured from shoulder to shoulder to know what measurement I needed. I'm gonna show a picture on the screen just so you know what to look for. And I'm gonna do 84 chains plus 3. And if you're wondering, I'm usually a size medium. Okay, so once you finish the chains that you want, you're gonna start making half double crochets on the third chain from the hook. So 1, 2, and 3. And do your half double crochet. And in case you're a beginner, that's yarn over, insert your hook, grab your yarn, go through, yarn over, and go through all those 3 loops on the hook. So keep doing this, 1 per chain until you get to the other side. So once you finish the half double crochets, you're going to chain 5. This counts as a treble crochet and a chain. And turn around. So since this is counts as a treble crochet, you're gonna not do anything there. You're gonna skip the next one, which is a chain, and do a treble crochet on the third. So yarn over 2 times, insert your hook, grab your yarn, go through, yarn over, go through 2 loops again, yarn over, go through 2 loops, and again go through 2 loops. And then you're gonna chain 1 and skip 1 down here. And again, another treble crochet. And chain 1. So that's pretty much it. Chain 1, skip 1, treble, chain 1, skip 1, and treble. So I'm gonna keep doing this until I reach the other side, and I'll see you there. Okay, so once you finish all of the treble crochets with the chain 1 in between, you're gonna chain 2, turn around, and start your next round. And for this round, it's gonna be pretty much the same thing as the one with the half double crochets. Just gonna yarn over and do 1 right there. The chain 2 does not count as a half double crochet. And for the chain 1, you're gonna do 1 as well. Okay, so pretty much that. You're gonna do 1 half double crochet per treble and per chain until you get to the other side. So I'm almost finished with this round with the half double crochets, and I want to show you up close here what to do when you are almost here at the end. You have the chain 5, and since this is a treble and a chain 1, you're gonna do 1 half double underneath and another half double on one of the chains. So you're using 1 chain here, and on the next chain, which is the 4th one, you're gonna do a half double crochet inside of it. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the pattern repeat. This sweater is super easy to do, and it is really fast growing. For the next round, you're gonna start the round with the treble crochets again. So chain 5, that's a treble with a chain 1, and turn around. Skip 1 down here and begin your round. So I'm gonna keep doing this row after row until I have my desired length. I'm gonna keep comparing it against myself. You can do the same. You can put the panel against your chest, reaching from your neck to see if you're liking the length. I'm gonna do this one full length. I'm not gonna do a crop. If you want to do a crop, you can do that as well. This is easily customizable. So once I have my desired length, I'll tell you what to do next. Okay, so I have finished all the rows that I wanted. If you're wondering, I did 19 rows of the treble crochets. So now that I have finished, what I'm gonna do next is the color, and to do that, you're gonna take your panel and fold it in half. I placed the stitch marker right there in my half, and then I went to the mirror and looked at myself and just marked where my neck was starting. So this is where my neck would go. I did not do the exact measurement of my neck because remember, it's gonna widen the color. So I did 34 stitches on each side. Important that the middle doesn't have to be perfect, but each side they have to match. They have to have the same amount of stitches. So now that I have that, I'm just gonna continue doing my normal rows. In this case is a row of treble crochets, and I'm gonna do it until I reach my stitch marker. So I have reached the other side where my stitch marker was. Now I'm gonna chain 2, or an important that you end with a treble crochet. And I'm gonna turn around, and this is the row where I'm gonna start reducing. So yarn over, insert your hook in that first stitch, and don't do anything. Insert your hook on the chain 1, grab your yarn over, and go through all those loops on the hook. And now you just reduce 2 stitches. So for now, just keep going and doing your half double crochets until you get to the other side. No reducing or anything. So now that I have reached the other side, I don't know if you guessed that, but it's gonna be the same thing. You're gonna turn around with a row of treble crochets. And for this one, you're not gonna reduce, you're just gonna do your row normally until you get to the other side. Okay, so once again I have reached the other side, and as you can see, I myself cannot do another chain and a treble because I would be adding another stitch. So I'm just gonna finish with a treble crochet right next to that one. Okay, just like that. Chain 2 to start the next round. And I don't know if you guessed it, but on this round, again, you're gonna reduce with your half double crochets. Yarn over, insert your hook, grab your yarn. Oops, let me do that again. Insert your hook, grab your yarn, insert once again on the next stitch, and yarn over and go through all those loops on the hook. So again, keep doing your half double crochets normally, and then you're gonna go back and do the final round of treble crochets. I have the other panel here finished. As you can see, I did a total of 3 rounds of treble crochets, and I reduced 3 times as well. And you're gonna do that on the other side. Obviously, you're gonna insert your hook and attach your yarn and do the same thing. Okay, so I have finished both of the main panels. As you can see, this is how it's looking, and the next part would be the sleeves. I did it off camera because it's basically the same pattern, the same thing. I did 76 chains plus 3. Here I have it. So if you haven't done it, pause the video right now so you can do both of those panels, because I'm gonna show you how to do the ribbing detail on the wrist. Okay, so for the sleeve, this specific number that I did, you can use it for several sizes because it's pretty wide. It's 21 inches wide, and You can use it for several sizes like I said, but if you want it smaller or even wider, you can obviously do the multiples of 2 plus 3, okay? Okay, so set your sleeve panels aside, and I'm gonna start the ribbing detail like I said. First, you start off with a slip knot and insert your hook. For the ribbing detail, I don't want it to be too noticeable, too wide. That's my preference for this sweater in particular, but if you want it wider, you can do more chains. For this one, I'm gonna do 4. And that ribbing is gonna measure maybe 1 inch. And now I'm gonna start doing single crochets on the second chain from the hook. Once you do those 3 chains, those 3 single crochets I mean, you're gonna chain 1 and turn around, and you're gonna do the same thing but on the back loop only. Okay, so on that one. Now chain 1 and turn around again. So you're gonna keep doing this until you can wrap around it around your wrist. Once you can wrap it around, stretching it a little bit. You don't want it to be too loose. If that's your preference, you can do it, but I want it to be tight, so I'm gonna do a couple more rounds. Okay, so I have finished the ribbing detail, and this is how it's supposed to go around your wrist. As you can see, it's not too loose, okay, and not too tight. It's just the right fit. So I'm gonna start doing rows, stopping right there, and I'm going to do the next step, which is chain 1, and I'm going to do single crochets along the edge. So starting right there, I'm going to do a single crochet and another next to it. So it's going to be 1 per row until you get to the other side. So once you get to the other side, you are going to cut a tail, but do not cut it right away. You're going to lay your ribbon flat, and you're going to cut the tail 8 times this size. So right now I have 1, now it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, for sure you're gonna have a little bit of tail, but it's better that you have a lot than to have less then. So the next step would be to just pull this up, and now we're gonna attach this to one of the panels for the sleeves. So I have my panel right here for one of the sleeves, and the first thing you're gonna do is fold it in half and mark the middle, okay, with a stitch marker, and you're gonna do the same thing with your ribbon. Fold it in half and mark it in the middle. Make sure that you have your needle nearby. I already have mine inserted with the tails, and lay your panel like this, flat on the surface, and you're gonna make sure that the part where you are putting your ribbon in, that part is going to go on the wrong side of the sleeve. Right now I have my right side looking at me. This is the back part of a treble crochet, and this is the right side. So once I start doing my ribbon, it's gonna go like this, and yeah, it's gonna be on the wrong side. So you're gonna start right here on the right side and insert your stitch in that first, insert your needle in that first stitch, I mean. And the reason for the stitch markers is that you're gonna keep using the same stitch right here, the first one on the ribbon, for several stitches on the panel, because it's gonna start, this this middle is gonna start getting closer to the middle on the ribbon, okay? So that's why it's so helpful to have your stitch marker nearby. If you don't mark it, you don't know where the middle is on the ribbon, and maybe you'll have one side more close together or more stretched out, and you don't want that. So for example, I'm gonna go in that same stitch on the ribbon, but I'm going to go onto the next stitch on the panel. And maybe I do this 3 or 4 times per stitch on the ribbon. So just make sure that it's not too far away once you get to the middle on the ribbon. I mean, not too far away from the stitch marker on the panel. So yeah, easy as that. You're gonna keep going in and out until you get to the other side and your ribbon is attached to your panel. I wanted to show you real quick how it looks once I get the 2 stitch markers together on both of the sides. So as you can see, the puffiness effect is forming on the sleeve, and on this side I'm just gonna take off the stitch markers because I don't need it anymore. And so I'm just gonna keep doing what I have been doing until I have all of this remaining panel right here on the ribbon. Once you get to the end, I'm just gonna go into that last stitch and hold this loop on the right side and insert my needle through there and do a simple knot. Okay, just like that, and I can let go of the tail. So now we are doing the most exciting part, which is putting the sweater together. Okay, so the first part of putting this sweater together would be to put your 2 main panels together. This is the shoulder part, and wrong sides are looking at me because we're gonna do the single crochets on this side, and once you turn it around, you're not gonna see them, and you'll have the right side here, okay? So you're gonna take your yarn, insert your hook on that first stitch at the corner and on the other side as well. Put your yarn like this, pull it through, chain 1, and now you can start doing your single crochets. And if you want, you can take the tails you have here and hide them at the same time you do your single crochets. So in that same space, you're gonna do your first single crochet with the tails right there and the hook underneath. You're gonna grab your yarn and do your single crochet. Easy as that. Go on to the next one and keep doing the same thing, single crochet after single crochet until you get to the other side. So the second part of putting this sweater together would be to put your panels for the sleeve onto the main panels that you just put together. So to do this, you're gonna take your sleeve and fold it in half to mark the center, and then you're gonna put it here, which is your shoulder, and then you're gonna make sure that both of the sides for the sleeve end up on the same side for the main panel. So for example, mine are ending on the 9th row of treble crochets on each side. Okay, very important. So you're gonna do the same thing for the second step, which is putting your hook and start making some single crochets. Chain 1 and just start making your single crochets. Easy as that, just like the first part. And for the treble crochets, I'm gonna do 2 single crochets or 3, whichever feels more comfortable. Do not do more or less than that. Okay, so once you have done the shoulders and attached the main sleeves to the main body, you're gonna do single crochets along the sleeve and all the way down to the main body. So I have some stitch markers here that are helping me for everything to stay in place. Okay, this is where your armpit will go, and all of this is the sleeve. This is where your wrist will go. So you're just gonna do the same thing, attach your yarn right here and go all the way around and end right here. So just gonna go into that corner on the wrist, on each of the sides. And again, if you want, you can hide your tails or try to hide them at the same time. If that's too complicated for you, it's alright, you can do it later with a needle. So again, do a single crochet in that same stitch and you can begin your single crochets. So keep doing single crochets all along the main body like I said, and make sure that each row of treble crochets corresponds with the other side, okay? If not, it's gonna look weird or loop-sided, so yeah. Okay, so once you have finished all of your stitches to put together all of your panels, what I'm gonna do next is totally optional. I'm gonna do some single crochets along the collar. I think it adds a little detail, it looks more finished, and then I will do a small ribbon just like I did on the wrist. And again, that's totally optional, and if you want to do it thicker or none at all, I mean the ribbon, you can do that also. So I'm gonna start right here where my shoulder would go and insert my hook and attach my yarn. And again, chain one, just like putting the sweater together, and do a single crochet in that same space. So just keep doing single crochets all along the collar. For the treble, I like to do 3 single crochets. Okay, so now that I have reached the beginning again, I'm going to go into that first single crochet I did and do a slip stitch. Okay, easy as that. And now I'm going to start making the ribbon. So I'm going to chain 4 just like the one on the wrist, and I'm going to do single crochets on the second chain from the hook, so it's going to be 3. And now I'm going to slip stitch 2 times, 1 on each single crochet. Okay, so now I'm going to turn around and do my single crochets on the back loop only. Again, chain 1 and turn around. And again, single crochets on the back loop only. And slip stitch on the next 2 stitches. Okay, easy as that. Slip stitch on the next 2 stitches, and again, single crochets on the back loop only, chain 1 and turn around, do the same thing, and again until you get to the beginning again. Okay, so I have reached the other side once again, and this is how it turned out. I think it looks pretty good. Again, it's totally optional, but I wanted to add this little detail to my sweater. So right now, I'm gonna close this off. I'm gonna pull this tight and take the other side and put it like this. Insert my hook at the corner, and on the other side, on the back loop, and do a slip stitch. Okay, do this a total of 3 times. And when you have completed the 3 slip stitches, just chain 1 and cut off your yarn. And that's it. That's how it looks on the right side. So yeah, this is it for this sweater. I think it turned out pretty good. Obviously, I will hide any tails that you see, but this is pretty much it for this easy to do sweater. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed making this sweater. If you do, make sure to leave a comment below. And if you think you enjoy my content, turn on those notifications and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.